Welcome to the Angus Report, the week's top Angus stories broadcast on the web by the American Angus Association. I'm Bob Cervera. This week, we focus on the recent cattle industry annual convention and trade show in Denver, Colorado. Thousands of cattlemen and women gathered February 2nd through the 5th for educational sessions, forums, and committee meetings where producers discussed everything from management practices to regulatory concerns. Here are many perspectives from different sectors of the beef business, from breeders to retailers, on many issues, including our top story. When the Eastern Livestock Company of New Albany, Indiana went bankrupt last fall, ranchers in 30 states lost out on more than $130 million. The issue remains a pressing topic while more than 700 producers wait to recoup their losses.
This is just an enormous problem. You know, we have to think about our industry today, the billions of dollars we trade with a handshake, and we rely on checks to be there, banks to clear, all this to work on a daily basis. And this was an example where the wheels came off the wagon in a pretty dramatic way. We're having a conversation here at our convention in Live Cattle Marketing Committee where we talk about these kinds of issues to say, hey, look, what do we need to look at in the future? Let's forget about what's happened here. Let's look going forward. Are the things we need to address in our industry to keep this from happening again?
NCBA's Board of Directors approved policy that's aimed at working with Congress to provide financial relief and better oversight of auction markets. Business remains good for cattle feeders in recent months, but climbing break-evens and rising corn costs are expected as summer months near. A low cattle inventory, high futures markets, and other global factors will likely keep cattle prices high. Now, while those factors present hurdles for cattle feeders, Tom Brink of Five Rivers Cattle Feeding says quality cattle remain in high demand.
Well, cattle quality varies a lot. We feed lots of different types of cattle, but what we really prefer to feed are some cattle that have some performance in them. From a steer standpoint, we would be buying most of those cattle coming in at 700 to 800 pounds. We'd like to see a steer that will finish around 1,350 to 1,400 pounds, so a cattle that has a decent mature size or will grow up to a reasonably good weight, but they don't have to be too big, and a cattle and an animal that will grade. We'd like to see cattle that would be 70% choice. The cattle that gain better as a rule are also the more efficient feed converters, which is just what we're looking for in this high grain market that we're dealing with.
Angus breeders targeting more efficient quality cattle can make the most out of their dollar earning potential through American Angus Association selection tools and programs.
Well, we believe that we're going to have to be more efficient in producing food for people in the future. And one of the things that we think we can help in that area is to develop selection tools that will allow cattle to produce more pounds of beef with less pounds of feed, as an example. And feed being the largest input cost for the production of beef, if we can make breeding decisions to identify those genes that will allow those cattle to grow faster and consume the same or lesser amounts of feed, that will be a significant contribution to the beef industry.
Right now with Agent Source, there's premiums that are available, so those cattle are available for export. We got a program called Angus Source that documents age, source, and genetics. And so if you made that genetic investment, take advantage of it. Get involved in those programs that allow you to leverage your investments and get a greater return.
The American Angus Association not only has the largest database in the world, we have the best database in the world. We're working with exciting things with genomics from Pfizer and genomics from Igenity that gives us genetic predictions that when I was a kid we could only dream of. And so our cattle are not only so much better than they were just a few years ago, they are much more predictable. And so that'll allow us to create cattle that will add value to the business of beef and enjoy these great prices that we're looking forward to this spring.
And finally, the Certified Angus Beef brand was top of mind at the Cattle Industry Annual Convention. Besides sponsoring portions of the event and providing product, the Branded Beef program also supplies Certified Angus Beef to a 2011 Beef Backer Award winner and one of the nation's most rapidly growing casual dining chains.
In our concept at the original Red the Steakhouse, we were using Certified Angus Beef and Prime, and then we were going to Miami Beach. We needed a little more, we needed to kick it up a notch. So we had played with Certified Angus Beef Prime a little bit, and after tasting it and getting it to the specification we wanted, there was no doubt this is the way to go. A steak is, I mean, a steakhouse, that's what your reputation is based on. Everything else, the restaurant has to live up to that level, and that level is as high as it can get.
When we did our homework around the industry of what were people looking for in burgers that they weren't getting, you know, obviously the quality and the taste of beef was central to that discussion, right? And so me and my team set out to kind of find out, well, against the kind of platform and process we wanted, what beef was going to give us exactly that, the kind of flavors that when you bite into it, whether it's just a plain burger on a bun or stacked this tall with other stuff, what we wanted was every bite to have this great, robust burger taste. So we screened through everything, as you might imagine, grass-fed, organic, you know, even Kobe. I mean, we looked at everything, and what we kept coming back to was something very, very magic in certified Angus beef. And so we really recognize there's something magic in the fat, there's something magic in the flavor. And no matter how we try to replicate it with other things, certified Angus was what it was all about.
You gotta love the name. Smashburger now has 94 restaurants in 17 states. According to Ryan, the restaurant chain plans to open another 100 by the end of next year and has committed to 500 additional openings. Visit www.angus.org for video coverage of the convention and trade show, or forcattlemen.com for even more coverage. That's all for this Angus Report. Join us next week when we provide the American Angus Association's latest news and information. Until then, visit our website, Facebook, or Twitter pages for articles, video, and more information. Thanks for joining us.
I hate to think about going back to the days that prior to what we did use. We had a lot of herd health problems that I think we've taken care of using VitaFirm. We are using VitaFirm on a year-round basis, and we do use it at all stages of our operation, from calving to bull development. It's actually made it more efficient. I think we can run more cow-calf pairs per acre using VitaFirm. Whenever you can promote health, it just makes everything more efficient, and your dollar goes further.